What is going on, you guys? It is your man MorganMan. Thank you so much for tuning back in to the MorganMan Sports Podcast. You can find me here on SoundCloud.com, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get podcasts from. In today's episode of Falcons Friday, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the official depth chart headed into Falcons training camp that will be coming up later in July. And also, we're talking about any other news that is not just Falcons related, but across the NFL itself. So without any further delay, let's go get straight into today's action. Alright guys, so I'm going to keep this very short, sweet, and simple right here. So we're going to run right through the starters and the backup positions for each position at the Falcons headquarters. So for quarterback, you have Matt Ryan to be the starter and backup Matt Schaub. Running back, this is very interesting. See who really is going to win that battle. But honestly, right now I have Todd Gurley being the starter day one against the Seattle Seahawks. And then for backup, you have Brian Hill. For left wide receiver, you have Julio Jones and Russell Gage as the backup. Right wide receiver, Calvin Ridley and Laquan Treadwell is the backup, and Ridley is the starter. For fullback, all you got is Keith Smith. There is no backup at the position. Tight end is Hayden Hurst, and backup is Kyrie Lee, if I'm pronouncing that right. Left tackle is Jake Matthews, and backup is John Wetzel. Left guard is Matt Hennessy and James Carpenter as backup. Center is Alex Mack, and backup is Matt Hennessy if Alex Mack does go down. For right guard, you have Chris Lindstrom and Jamian Brown at the backup position. Right tackle, you have Caleb McGarry starting and Evan Kazarkrik, if I am pronouncing it right. Sorry if I am butchering your name. For defense, for LDE, you have Charles Harris as the starter and backup John Kaminsky, but I do believe that John Kaminsky can move up into a starter position. Defensive tackle, you have Tyler Davison as your starter, Deidre Sinnett, if I'm pronouncing it right, as backup. Defensive tackle number 2 is Grady Jarrett, and then second is Marlon Davison. Right defensive edge, okay, so left defensive edge was Charles Harrison. Right defensive edge is Tech McKinley as your starter and Austin Larkin as backup. Defensive end is Dante Fowler, and backup is Jacob Tawai Marner, if I'm pronouncing that right. SLB is Dion Buchanan, if I'm pronouncing it right, and Foyan Aluakon. Middle linebacker is Deion Jones, of course, and Dion Buchanan if Deion Jones does go down. For your corner, you have AJ Terrell being the starter day one against the Seattle Seahawks, and his backup is Jordan Miller. For RCB, you have Isaiah Oliver and Kendall Sheffield as his backup. Ricardo Allen at the free safety position is going to be the starter, and Sherrod Neesman will be his backup. And for SS, you have Keanu Neal as the starter and DeMonte Casey as his backup. For special teams, kicker Younghoe Koo, pretty much. No backup right there in that position. Punter is Ryan Allen, and his backup is Sterling Hochfer. LS is Josh Harris. KR is Chris Rowland, and his backup is Illuminate Sakias. And PR, Chris Rowland, and his backup again is Illuminate Sakias. So those are the starters and backups for the Falcons training camp. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, this list will change as the days go on. And of course, once we get closer to the season, pretty much like the day before or the day of the actual real game that matters, we're going to get the official depth chart coming out to the social media platforms, pretty much.